I'm Monsignor James White, and I'm from the Archdiocese of New York in the United States. I am pastor of a parish by the name of St. Vito, a parish that has basically three languages: Spanish, Italian, and English. And just a little bit of my background: I was born in the southern part of the United States in South Carolina. And at about age 11 or 12, my family moved north. But I first came in contact with the Catholic Church when I was about 7 or 8 years old. All of my family, we are converts to Catholicism. We were Protestant, and due to the work and the evangelization of the priests at that time, the Oratorian Fathers, my family converted to the Catholic faith. And that was my first particular experience with the Catholic Church, for the priests there worked with the youth. I went to a Catholic school, and anyone knowing the history of the United States knows that at that time, if you were white, you went to a different school than black Americans. And it was the church that brought both groups together, and in doing so gave me a real understanding of the work and the ministry of the Catholic Church. My family moved north to New York City, and in doing so I went to a Catholic school there and eventually to a Catholic high school. And from there I met many of the priests and the brothers that taught us in high school, and eventually entering the Christian Brothers, teaching for about 13 years. And in that particular life, it seems that God called me even farther to do more for Him. And my question was, what does God want of me? I took the through vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, and I dedicated my life to the education of the youth. But evidently the Lord asked me to do more, and eventually I entered the seminary, St. Joseph's Seminary in Yonkers, New York, and was ordained a priest in 1983 by the Archbishop of New York. And since that time I've taught, I've worked in parishes, and hopefully have touched many particular people with my ministry, but very much so the youth whom I taught and those of high school age, and I had the opportunity to meet many of them as time goes on. One thinks that perhaps the teaching of the faith to young people had no effect, but years later those same young people remind me of what I taught, and that God had called them to be a father of a family and to educate their own children in the Catholic faith. I've been a priest now for about 31 years, and I'm enjoying my work, and hopefully again I'm touching many. In my parish we have Italian youth, we have Spanish youth, and we have Native American youth, and all work together to serve God in some way, in service ministry, or in serving at masses, or whatever way they're able to participate in helping the poor, visiting the elderly. So my particular work has touched many, as I was touched by the priest that taught me. And hopefully that particular ministry will continue in the lives of these young people, whether they are priests, brothers, whether they are nuns, or whether they are married people or single people. But it's important to open our lives to God's work, and maybe God is calling us, as He called me, as I say, a vocation within a vocation, from the brotherhood to the priesthood. I thank God for what He's done for me, and I ask that God use me to bring others into their faith.